is reflected in the confidence that not just foreign investors, but also local investors have in our economy. And that is why they are investing in this exchange. And that is why market capitalization is now upwards of 3 trillion and growing. And so I want to congratulate the stock exchange. You have kept a wonderful track record. And we have been your partners in making sure that we guard this economy from shocks that arise from either indecision in government or procrastination of decisions in government. And I want to commit that we are going to work together going into the future. We are not yet through with the reforms that will assist these capital markets to get to its optimal potential. There are some interventions that we will be discussing with the capital markets. John and his team at Treasury will go through the motions so that we can finally get every Kenyan to come on board and participate in the economy of our country. These reforms, ladies and gentlemen, are directly linked to our broader national development priorities. As you are aware, we have set ourselves an ambitious 10-year transformation agenda that includes the dualing of 2,500 kilometers of highways, tarmacking an additional 28,000 kilometers of road, increasing installed energy capacity from 3,300 megawatts at the moment to 10,000 megawatts, and constructing 50 new mega dams, 200 mini dams, and 1,000 macro dams in our effort to bring on board 2.5 million acres under irrigation for us to underwrite our food security and to make sure that we have all the infrastructure that is required for us to lift our country to a first world status. I was in the city of Nairobi on Sunday, and one of the biggest challenges we have in this city is water. We have, in the last 3 years, added an additional 140 million liters of water into Nairobi. But that is not enough. People in Southlands still pay 10 times more for water than people in Karen and Lavington. You know? We need to build Maragua 4 Dam so that we can have enough water in this city. It is one of the 50 mega dams that we have listed as the ones for investment as we build infrastructure for the development of our country. Delivering this scale of transformation requires mobilizing close to 5 trillion, and we intend to achieve this without imposing additional burden on taxpayers or accumulating debt. That is precisely where our capital markets and platforms such as the Nairobi Securities Exchange become central to the solution. Through the structured divestiture of strategic national assets, we will unlock long-term development capital. These resources, channeled through the Nairobi Infrastructure Fund and the Sovereign Wealth Fund, will crowd in private sector investment and finance national priorities while safeguarding intergenerational equity as required by the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, what we are undertaking is not an untested experiment. Many successful economies have followed in this path, deliberately leveraging privatization, capital markets, and institutional reforms to transform their stock exchanges into powerful catalysts for investment and growth. By listing strategic state-owned enterprises, they strengthen capital market depth and liquidity, attract global capital, and elevate their markets from frontier to emerging and ultimately developed status. We remain committed to working with all stakeholders to build markets that are deep, that are efficient, and accessible, markets capable of financing innovation, empowering enterprise, and advancing national priorities. And in this space, we will shortly be looking at what other incentives can we put in place for private companies to also list in the exchange 10%, 20%, 30%, so that we can democratize wealth in the country, and we can also reduce burdens of borrowing. Private sector companies instead going to borrow from banks because they have sufficient infrastructure and they can measure up to all the requirements of the exchange, should be able to come to the exchange to get capital for expansion, for whatever interventions they need, so that we can allow debt to go to more deserving cases. And therefore, this morning is a very proud moment for me that finally, ordinary people can buy one share. They can buy 5 shares. You don't have to look for a CDS account. You don't have to know any broker. You don't have to walk to any place. They don't even have to come to the exchange. They can trade from the comfort of their homes, using their phones, and they can contribute to national development. You know, how proud is it going to be that somebody in the far-flung part of our nation can buy the IPO of Kenya Pipeline? I'm informed by Dilip that by Friday, and it had better be Friday, Dilip, by Friday, Kenyans, from the comfort of their phones, they can buy the Kenya Pipeline IPO from wherever they will be on their phone this Friday. Please make it happen so that we can bring on board more Kenyans to own the best of the assets that we have as a nation, and to also contribute to national development, so that, as somebody said, many Kenyans do not become bystanders and observers, that they too become part of the ecosystem of growing our economy.